There are a number of reasons why national unity is important. It hastens development, creates a peaceful environment, and generally people feel that they are as important as the other person regardless of their social or economic status. One of the biggest obstacles to Guyana's development has been listed as the ethnic and socio inequality that exists. In this week's edition of Guyana 411, the Government Information Agency looks at the issue of social cohesion and the determination expressed by the coalition government to eradicate this scourge from our society. So join me, Renetta Lafleur, as we look at the government's vision for national unity and the work of the newly established Ministry of Social Cohesion in implementing this vision. Stay tuned. Established shortly after the coalition government came into office, the main objective of the Ministry of Social Cohesion is to address Guyana's long-standing ethnic divide and create a society that provides equal opportunities for all despite race, color, religion, and political affiliations.
A cohesive society is one that works to advance the well-being of all its members. It guards against exclusion and marginalization and creates a sense of belonging among its people. A cohesive society promotes trust and offers members the opportunity for upward mobility. The coalition government, having acknowledged that ethnic disparity exists in Guyana, has committed to ensure that all Guyanese have equal access to the many resources, services, and other facilities provided by the state. This is primarily the mandate of the Ministry of Social Cohesion.
Under this APNU AFC government, we are promoting national unity. We want long-lasting love. We want our Guyanese brothers to see us all as one, working in the interest of nation building. I call on you not to instigate racial prejudice. Look for more substantial results, but let us work together to make Guyana a better place.
A former head teacher, Amna Ally brings years of experience to the job of Minister of Social Cohesion. Her task is to guide the realization of government's vision for a unified Guyana. Minister Ally believes that the lack of national unity has created a divisive Guyana, resulting in neglect and discrimination over the years. Ally has to develop policies and a work program that will bridge that divide and ensure that everyone is treated equally and fairly. President David Granger, in his address to the Parliament on January 14, 2016, said that the Ministry of Social Cohesion will continue to work to reinforce national unity in Guyana.
We can be one nation only if all sections of our population feel that they share in our country's economic development. We must, in 2016, dispel enmity among individuals and groups. We must move forward as a united nation. Colonial rule fomented divisions of race, religion, and region, which have imposed a big burden on the slender shoulders of our small society. These divisions for 50 years have frustrated our economic development, making national unity elusive. National unity does not preclude the existence of differences in philosophies or opinions. It does include a willingness to respect each other's rights.
Developing a cohesive society will be tackled on many fronts, ranging from the economic to religious, social, and political. It has long been recognized that politics has contributed significantly to the ethnic divide that exists in Guyana. This is why Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, the leader of government's business in the National Assembly, has reached out to the political opposition.
I want to renew the call to the opposition, to all social partners, to trade unions, to women organizations, to youth organizations, that they come forward and they condemn all attempts at dividing our people. I also want to open the door once again to have dialogue with all who would wish to have that dialogue. As Prime Minister, I have stated that I have offered the opposition an olive branch. I still have that olive branch in my hand, and I'm offering that olive branch once again. Let us engage meaningfully. Let us engage as fraternal organizations, government and opposition, with one interest, one agenda, one hope that we can serve Guyana, we could unite Guyana, and we can make this country better.
While the Prime Minister continues to reach out to the opposition, the Minister of Social Cohesion, having recognized that it will take a long-term strategic effort to address social cohesion here in Guyana, is calling on all Guyanese to support the work of her ministry, since it aims to eliminate ethnic discrimination.
The people out there, they want social cohesion. They are fed up with a group of people or a section of society dividing the Guyanese people. They want us to work together, and I can tell you that they are responding greatly to social cohesion. And we have had in our sensitization programs, I can tell you, in every region, we have had successes at our initiative. You can see the response from them that they want this social cohesion. They want this working together. They are seeing the benefits that working together will give to them.
Other government officials use every opportunity possible to remind Guyanese of the importance of working together for Guyana's development.
We want to continue the inclusiveness. We want to ensure that we are not divided by race, ethnicity, and that we judge people as Guyanese. And we see ourselves as Guyanese. Not that we should judge, but we should see ourselves as Guyanese. That's our goal for the next 50 years. And that's why Brigadier David Granger, president of this great land of ours, he elevated this whole question of social cohesion to that of a ministry. So we have a minister of social cohesion whose remit is to ensure the continued unity or uniting of the peoples of Guyana, whether it's culture, whether it's race, whether it's religion.
The admission that Guyana is racially divided and segregated is the first step in addressing the issue of ethnic discrimination and insecurities. It is the government's view that social cohesion will be achieved with felt changes of ethnic unity becoming visible as time elapses.
Social cohesion for lasting peace was the theme under which the ministry conducted a two-day national conversation. This was aimed at formulating a 5-year strategic plan to tackle social cohesion. This national conversation was seen as an encouraging and positive step in seeking to promote a stable and prosperous Guyana.
On September 3, 2015, the government hosted a National Social Cohesion Roundtable discussion. It was an important opportunity for persons representing various interests in Guyana to suggest practical ways of pulling Guyanese together despite their various cultures. There were members of the government, the diplomatic corps, and representatives from several non-governmental organizations. Seeking to realize the national motto of One People, One Nation, One Destiny, Minister Ally said that the event was a crucial conversation among participants with the aim of bringing about a good life for all.
We are under no illusion that it is going to be easy. This Guyana is a product of many streams of history and culture, representing the origins, dispersal, and reintegration of humanity over hundreds of years. We have to build one national identity out of multiple identities based on class, gender, sexual orientation, age, language, geographic location, and religion. This roundtable must be yet another platform for us as Guyanese to dialogue among ourselves, reaching out to one another and move a step further in building a truly united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous Guyana.
At the opening of the National Conversation on Social Cohesion, President Granger said Guyana, with its bountiful natural resources and people, need not be poor or divided. The head of state had laid out a 5-point action plan. That plan includes doing more to eliminate extreme poverty, eradicating the worst case of inequality, and ensuring that there is a greater political inclusion.
Cohesiveness cannot be nurtured in an unequal environment. Guyana has been burdened with a historical legacy of segregated communities, the consequence of the pattern of labor mobilization for the colonial plantation economy. This segregation fosters ethnic tensions and creates a sense of separateness. Social cohesion cannot exist where there are gross disparities of income and development between the rich and poor, between hinterland and coastland, and between communities. We must work to reduce those disparities and promote greater equality. We will do so by enforcing equal rights for all and equal access to education, health, and other public services. We will provide greater opportunities for the disadvantaged. A more equal society will become a more cohesive society.
At the Social Cohesion Roundtable, renowned Guyanese diplomat, former Commonwealth Secretary General Sir Sridhar Ramphal said the greatest act of social cohesion would be the establishment of a government of national unity.
In the context of social cohesion, we must all consider the impact of our decisions on at least the next generation. Certainly, the political class must consider the impact of its daily decisions on social cohesion, looking beyond the next election. For Guyana today, social cohesion and political cohesion and political coalition, by whatever formula political unity replaces racial division, are two sides of the same national coin.
Applauding the government of Guyana for the initiative, British High Commissioner to Guyana Greg Quinn had said that it is vital in a multicultural society such as Guyana that citizens are encouraged to have open and frank discussions about everything.
It is important to reiterate that promoting social cohesion is not something just for the government. Everybody has a role to play in working towards such a goal. The government alone cannot be expected to do everything. Civil society, politicians, all political parties, and individuals themselves must make it their responsibility to contribute. Sitting back and saying this is for someone else to do is frankly not acceptable.
Former United Nations resident representative Khadija Musa said the roundtable was important because it emphasized the need for a collective response to challenges and changes with inclusion of all equally and without discrimination.
UNDP fully supports the holding of this roundtable. We believe that it is a step in the right direction. You will agree that citizens and their organizations are best placed to chart their own local initiatives and be the drivers of development in their communities. It is my view that when communities, residents, and their leadership are involved in a collective way to achieve their community's needs, the cause of social cohesion can be achieved.
Reducing and ultimately eradicating Guyana's long-standing ethnic divide will be the focus of a 5-year strategic plan that is being developed by the Ministry of Social Cohesion. Minister Ally believes that using the method of a roundtable discussion, persons were able to advise and make suggestions on the best way forward in tackling the issue. The roundtable discourse provided perspectives on gender and environmental and geographical dimensions on the 4 thematic areas: ethnic relations and politics, social and economic equality, community and safety and well-being, and political participation and governance. More than 50 local organizations, including interreligious bodies, human rights organizations, cultural groups, the private sector, representatives from all 10 administrative regions, and civil society participated.
The real stakeholders in national unity are the ordinary citizens. The ministry has realized that if these people are not engaged in framing their own destiny, then the efforts at cohesion would just be political rhetoric. This is why sensitization sessions and outreaches form part of this plan.
The Ministry of Social Cohesion is working to fulfill its mandate by finding ways and methods to tackle discrimination. Sensitization sessions have been held in all 10 administrative regions, and pilot projects are being implemented to reduce inequalities. Guyana's hinterland was the first place targeted for an outreach. Engagements with residents were held in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9, where the minister and her team advised the residents of the establishment of the new ministry and outlined its mandate.
The government of Guyana has recognized that the unified Guyana can only be attained and sustained through social cohesion, and that a special ministry will be tasked with that responsibility to work to facilitate this process. We intend to strive to ensure that Guyana becomes a cohesive society to the extent that the inequalities, exclusions, and disparities based on ethnicity, gender, class, nationality, age, disability, or any other distinction which engender divisions, distrust, and conflict are reduced and or eliminated in a planned and sustained manner.
Guyanese of all races, religion, and gender, and of all social strata from all communities were invited to participate, as the government considers the views of every person important to the process.
The government is concerned about our children to send them to school and they having transportation and whatnot. I wouldn't say nay, but I always believe I don't like handout. And what I'm saying is let the government of the day set system in place where me, at this age, I could work and earn $1. Right? Not a handout to get solar or to get this or whatnot. I must buy, if anyone, any other races could buy, I could go in the shop and buy a TV or buy whatever it is. Not handout.
Walk and see for yourself. Don't let nobody get a man from the grassroots and let them carry around the place. We're looking for development in this Matakai sub-region.
We talk of social cohesion, yet there are those in authority who are bent otherwise and still talk of we government and them government, especially when making disparaging or derogatory remarks. I would therefore want to suggest that those who are set in authority be indoctrinated into social cohesion. For such a policy or program to be effective, it must begin at the top. And those who are in authority need to put political alliance aside when dealing with professional matters.
Transportation for our children, especially the one in the area of Soro. We need if you could furnish us with a minibus, we'd be grateful, because these children still have to traverse and the transportation fees are very costly. For example, I'm a senior citizen, right? And I cannot give the money financially to have a son attending the North Secondary School. So it's very difficult for me, on my part. Most of all the people around in the adjacent communities. So, Minister, thank you so much for your kind endeavor with this program.
We have a lot of children who are pursuing further academic qualifications so as to better themselves in the job market. But trust me, when they've already qualified, they cannot come back to Region 1 to work. We don't have that scope. So I'm asking myself, what's on the table from the Ministry of Cohesion as it relates to job security? We speak so much in Guyana of brain drain, and we even have it at the local level. We have children coming to 5, 7, 8, 7, 9, 10, 11 subjects, CXC, but we don't have the scope for them to work in Region 1. So I do hope that this visit highlights our concerns that were raised and they can be addressed.
Since the establishment of the Social Cohesion Ministry, the government has been placing attention on reducing extreme poverty, eliminating gender and geographic inequalities, fostering greater participation of political parties in national development, creating opportunities for fair employment and safety in the hinterland, but most important of all is ensuring equal access to education by Guyana's children.
The President's 5Bs program is one of the mechanisms being used to help bridge the economic and social divide and in the process help Guyanese children to access education. It is known that education is the gateway out of poverty. The Social Cohesion Ministry has been playing a pivotal role in the 5Bs program. This is President Granger's Boats, Buses and Bicycles plus Breakfast and Books initiative.
On the East Bank, I met a teacher who was paying transport for one student who she felt was very brilliant and needed to be given the opportunity to travel from Sears to Houston to go to school. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are to produce a generation of leaders to take control of this beautiful country, we cannot accept a situation in which every single month 400 children are dropping out of school. And that is what is happening in Guyana. Every month 400 children drop out of school, and most of them drop out because their parents cannot afford to keep them in school. They can't afford the transportation. And that is why we are here this afternoon in Fort Wellington. Because the purpose of our administration is to solve problems. We know who caused the problems. We will solve the problems. We want to make sure that every child can go to school, because education is going to unlock not only that child's career, not only the future of this region, but the entire country.
In communities where the 5Bs initiative is being implemented, schools attendance is improving. Head teacher of St. Ignatius Secondary in Region 9, Marilyn Sears Joseph, notes the improvements and how the initiative is impacting positively on that region.
I have seen great improvement, and not only with the boots, the bicycles, and the uniforms, but also the hot meal program. Because of the hot meal program that was introduced, at first we only had it at 28 primary schools. Now we have it at all the primary schools. Because of the hot meal program, the children are regular at school because they don't have to go home in the middays to take. It's a hot meal as well as a snack for the nursery children. So attendance has increased a lot.
The 5Bs initiative is just one aspect of President Granger's push to ensure every child attends school. It has resulted in members of the private sector and ordinary citizens partnering with the government to enhance the education delivery process. To date, 10 buses, 9 boats, and hundreds of bicycles have been donated to children and communities, all aimed at reducing inequalities and to help ensure that every child attends school. Donna Chapman, Deputy Chief Education Officer, explains how the distribution of a boat in Region 10 is already having a positive impact.
Region 10 has actually said that they have a success story because they have a boat bringing people all the way past West Watuka, and more children are attending school. But they recognized that they were coming so early that they had no breakfast. So the Department of Education actually introduced a breakfast program for those children.
Minister Amna Ally has on several occasions stated that the 5B's initiative brings to life the President's dream and that it is just one of his many efforts towards empowering youths for the future. The Ministry of Social Cohesion has set up an interministerial committee in which the Education Ministry has an active role. This body will look at opportunities through which all stakeholders at the community level can benefit from training in the areas of conflict resolution, healing and reconciliation, and other peace-building initiatives.
In keeping with its thrust to foster social cohesion in Guyana, the coalition government will be guided by a social cohesion strategic plan that is currently being prepared. This 5-year strategic plan will seek to identify practical options, strategies, and capacities for building social cohesion and equalities, among other things, in Guyana.
Social cohesion is a complex cultural, psychological, and social phenomenon which demands a broad-based approach and calls for the involvement of persons at all levels. The Ministry of Social Cohesion plans to continue with its countrywide sensitization programs. It is also working to complete the strategic plan. The minister is of the view that social cohesion will be achieved, but first, Guyanese must be open to change.
We want everybody to buy in to this concept of social cohesion. We want everybody to buy into the concept that working together, we mustn't look at race and religion and sex and social origin. We must be able to work together to develop ourselves, to develop our community, to develop our region, and ultimately our country. And I believe that it will not happen in a day or a month. It is going to take some time because people must want to have this change. They must want to have this togetherness into our communities. We must stop fostering race. So you are Afro-Guyanese and I'm Indo-Guyanese. We recognize that we have differences in our cultures, in our race and whatever, but those differences must not be barriers to development.
Minister Ally is optimistic that with her government's vision and the support of the people, the concept of social cohesion and the agenda to achieve a more unified society will provide tangible results.
People are very responsive. They are participatory. I have not had a failure in any of those regions that I've been to have my sensitization programs. And I think that they are responding positively to it because the people want the togetherness. There might be occasions where you will have individuals instigating it negatively. But all in all, I believe that 2020, we are going to be able to take Guyana to another level. I believe that by then, people will recognize that this is what we need. We need national unity for development.
There are several projects which are currently on stream through collaborative efforts with other ministries, departments, and agencies that will be a part of the continuous process to achieve social cohesion.
It is our intention to collaborate with other ministries, and in particular with the Ministry of Education. Rather, I can tell you that coming out of the round table, one of the recommendations, and we have already put it into our program for 2016, is to come up with a booklet for primary schools. We're going to start at the level of levels 4 and 6 in the primary school, where we're going to produce this booklet, and so that we can start to instill in children, to begin with, this whole concept of social cohesion.
It is the belief of the administration that in order to break the race barrier, young people must be engaged. It is against this background that a lot of emphasis is being placed by the Ministry of Social Cohesion on empowering youths and educating them on the need for ethnic harmony.
We have come to an end of this week's edition of Guyana 411. With the information we shared with you this week, it is our hope that you are better aware of the importance of social cohesion and you will come on board and let's work together for the development of our country. GINA fully supports the national drive to achieve national unity and asks that you come on board. On behalf of all of us here at GINA, I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching and have a safe week ahead.